Welcome to the 1 Minute Apologist. We interview the world's leading apologists to provide credible answers to curious questions.
Chris, in Matthew 25, verse 46, it seems as if when we're looking at the sheep and the goats there, one's going to go away to eternal life, other to eternal death or whatever. It kind of seems like this word eternal speaks of the destiny of both the sheep and the goats. How would you describe that, or how would you defend your position to somebody who believes in eternal conscious torment, who would say, look, the goats, they're going to experience, eternity in hell?
Yeah, it's an excellent question, and what I want to preface it by saying is that the disagreement between these two views is not on the duration of the punishment. We both agree it's eternal punishment. Where we disagree is on its nature. If the nature of the punishment is torment experienced while alive, then eternal punishment will be everlasting torment in immortal bodies in hell. But if the nature of the punishment is death, as Paul says in Romans 6:23, the wages of sin is death, and if that death lasts forever, then the punishment of death is an eternal punishment. And that seems to me to be much more consistent with the contrast that Jesus sets up there. Because if you'll recall, he doesn't only comment on the duration of the punishment awaiting the lost, he also comments on the fact that only the saved will be granted eternal life. Well, if only the saved are going to get eternal life, how can the eternal punishment be just a different kind of eternal life, or a different eternal life in a different place? That doesn't even make sense. In fact, you've probably heard some pastors say things like, everybody gets eternal life. The question is where you live it, in heaven or in hell. Or everybody's going to live forever. The question is what the experience of that's going to be like. Doesn't that fly in the face of what Jesus says here? Eternal life is only going to be something that the saved received. So what that seems to indicate is that the eternal punishment must not be life. But by definition, if it's not life, it must be death. It's a capital punishment, and the privation of life will last for eternity and is thereby, properly speaking, eternal punishment.
What would you say to some of those, though, who would say, okay, even words like destroyed, I've once heard it put, the word destroyed doesn't mean you're going to cease to exist. Rather, it just means you will not be able to exist for your intended purpose. Like if I smashed a Coke can, I've destroyed it, but it doesn't cease to exist. It's just not useful for its intended purpose.
So this is an exegetical fallacy that D.A. Carson calls, the illegitimate totality transfer. And what it means is that when you have a Greek word that has a range of possible meanings, you can't just simply take any one of those meanings from its range of meanings and apply that anywhere the word is used. That's illegitimately transferring the totality of the word's meaning into any single place where it's used. Context and grammar and syntax and things determine what a Greek word means in any given passage. And when you look at how the Greek word apolumi, which means destroy or perish or whatever, when you look at how that word is used throughout the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, to describe what personal agent does to another personal agent, it consistently means slay or kill. So Herod, for example, was seeking to destroy Jesus. Do you think that he was trying to ruin Jesus? No, he was trying to kill him. There are plenty of examples where that's the case. So in Matthew 10:28, where Jesus says, "Don't fear men who can kill only the body but can't kill the soul. Rather fear God who can destroy both body and soul in Gehenna." He's using that Greek word in what grammarians call the active voice. He's using it transitively to describe what one person does to another. And he's saying that what men can only kill part of you. God can kill your entire being. When you look at how that word is used throughout the Synoptic Gospels, it means slay or kill, not ruin. We're not talking about passively being lost like a lost coin. And we're not even talking about inanimate objects or animals like lost sheep. We're talking about personal, sentient beings, what one does to another. And consistently it means slay or kill, not ruin and cause misery forever in hell.